This is interesting. It has, the way that this painting is, this is interesting. You've got the dark red, but you also have the black, and then you have the nice detail here. I think that these black marks were added later. When you blackened an item, it was showing that you no longer respected that individual. And so I think that initially this was a spoon that was created for usage, but then when it was co-opted by others, they did their own way of informing others, beware, by blackening this darkness here. The way that this is done, it's more artistically done. It's got the image of either a whale or a fish, the way that this design is here, so that would have been more traditional. But I think that when this was taken over by others who took it, they wanted to warn people who might see it, beware of these people. They may not be someone to be trusted. And so they put the black solid marking down here, which I think was added later. It does have some wear from it, so it does have some usage where it was done early on. But also you can see the different color of the red that was used. So this is more normal of what we would find. So I think this was probably willow and flowers that created this. But this may have been that ochre that came from others to add this darker red here. They had skill in making this, but they also, it's a thicker one, so it was meant to last a long time. It wasn't meant to just be used with one generation. They had hopes to share this over longer because it was made thicker and more durable, and so they had expected to use it. But there isn't a lot of heavy wear. You can see there's some glossening here, but if this was used all the time, you would have seen it, the grooves start to develop, and there aren't those markings. But you could see that there is some glossiness to the edges, so there was some usage of this item. There isn't a lot of evidence that there was used for scraping, so more likely this was used for liquid water. If it had been used in the soup pot, you would have started to see the wear down from the steering, and you don't really see that on this one. But it's a beautiful piece, and I love this. This really reminds me of the whale. And I think that's what it's meant to depict, but it could be other things, because natives from the other parts, they look at different animals, killer whale versus the bowhead whale, so those marks might be meant for those. It could be specifically for fish. It may have been a marking specifically for that plant. So very interesting. I'd like to have been there when they collected it and asked lots of questions.
Do you think the blackening could relate to its being collected by a Westerner?
It could be. There could have been things to try to make it look more native, and so adding different colors to it to say, oh yeah, this is a native piece. It's not just a non-native person that made it. Those things could have happened. Because it's got the whittling marks made with the, you can see marks how it was carved. It was, whoever made that did have skill, and it was done in a good way. It wasn't rapidly done. They took their time in making it. It wasn't, hurry up and make it so I can use it today. That was important for the person that they gave it to.
What kind of wood would that have been?
I think it's going to be cedar, but I'm not positive. We don't have wood that big in our area. If we had, it would have been drifted up, and it wouldn't have been in any condition that we could have done the carving with. We have more in our area, willow, and We now have alder upriver, but Alaska is so big, there are different things, but there is a reddish color to the wood that's not been dyed, and so I think that's more likely to be cedar. They were the great big trees and they had that color. But there's a number of trees down in the south of Alaska that I don't know what they are. I don't live down there, so I
Yeah,
don't get
it's
all
very
that
big.
exposure.